was a crap clap from me. I was trying to do a quiet clap and you barely got a clap.
I'm not sure mine came through. Can we do one more just in case?
Yeah, let's do another clap.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
That's better.
That was a good clap.
Does that mean really loud?
Yeah.
Blowing the speakers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Paizo would be
There's a
proud of that
thunderclap. There's a thunderclap.
Yeah. That's me.
God, I've never known anyone so happy to get the clap.
Oh my god.
I feel like we've been making that joke on this podcast for like
Since
at least
we've been clapping.
Since we've been clapping, we've been making that joke.
Yeah.
And we'll never stop.
I mean, what's not to like about a round of applause? I mean, a round of applause is always positive, right?
Unless it's very slow.
Yeah. Or if
But
it's
then you
'cause
could
you've
just
done
be playing
something
cricket.
silly. You know, like when a waiter drops a plate and it smashes and everyone in the restaurant claps.
Way, yeah, but that's fun. And they don't care.
Not for the waiter.
No.
Also,
I mean-
I don't feel like that happens in restaurants. That definitely happens in bars when glasses get broken.
Yeah, I mean, down the spoons.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm in some very low-class restaurants then.
But as a general rule, I think you associate clapping and applause with positive things. I like clapping.
Yeah.
I think I have a complex relationship with it from theatre. I suffer massively from imposter syndrome, so every time there's an applause when I've done a theatre show, I'm like, don't deserve this. I've enjoyed doing it, so I don't deserve an applause. Yeah. Complex relationship.
No, I like clapping. I'll clap along in films and not realise, because I'm cool like that. Yay!
Big question though, Amy. Do you clap when the plane lands?
So I haven't been on a plane since 2004 when I went to America, and we did clap because that was in 2004. So I think everyone was quite sensitive at the time. But I wouldn't clap in a cinema. Unless everyone was clapping, and then I'd join because I'd like to be part of the flock, please.
that herd mentality. Give me that group serotonin.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's it. Yeah, clapping in a cinema is just a bit weird because like if you clap at the theatre or even I'll allow clapping on the plane, the people that you're applauding can hear that and they can get something from that.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're at a cinema and you're applauding a screen. It's like it's a bit weird.
Yeah, it's kind of strange.
The screen's getting nothing from this. There's no point.
No, I agree.
That's a very American thing, though, isn't it? That whole being demonstrous in a cinema and whooping and cheering and laughing and eating sweets and fucking talking through the adverts.
The only time that is acceptable is if you're going to see something like Lord of the Rings that you've seen plenty of times. It's just nice to watch it with other people, right? And then someone does the Taking the Hobbits to Isengard song when says it, so
it is never acceptable to talk in a cinema at all at any point ever.
No, Stu, I've got to disagree. I've got to disagree. Like a cinema, going to the cinema is a social occasion. Talking whilst the film is going on, yeah, absolutely, I agree. Don't do that. But the rest of the time, just talk about stuff. I like to play the game. Whenever I go to the cinema with my mate Lee, we like to play the game of guess what the advert's for before it kind of tells you the thing. Because you get some weird fucking adverts in cinemas. You really do.
It's always a bank.
It is. It's always a bank. It's always a bank. It's either a bank or a really obscure advert for a car company.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I think, yes, you talk about the thing before you go in the cinema and you talk about it after you come out, but whilst the moment you go through those, I'm never going to the cinema with any of you.
The reason you're going to the cinema is so you can watch the film with other people, because I would argue that most people have a better film experience by watching films at home. with the way technology is at the moment, you can watch it in your own time, pause it if you want to go to the loo. You know, you don't have to sit through a 3.5 hour long epic without wanting to miss anything. But then there's something really special, I think, about watching a film and then everyone experiencing the same moments in the same like emotions. Like when I went to go see Inception at the cinema, there was an absolute packed cinema, and I don't think I've seen a packed cinema since. But like everyone reacted the same way to all the things, and that was just cool on itself. Yeah. I can deal with a bit of rustling and stuff for that, but like for other films, not so much.
As I say, it's only sort of before the film actually starts. Like once the film gets going properly, absolutely, I totally agree. You shouldn't be talking at that point, but before that, it's fine. It's not an issue.
You've got trailers before then, and you don't talk through them. And adverts is like adverts are the practice to keep quiet during the trailers. It's like that dress rehearsal.
Yeah, but you have to sit through TV adverts before you even get to the trailers now. Like, it used to just be trailers of films, right?
Yeah, but that's your dress rehearsal to practice being quiet. It's your last chance to get it right, learning how to shut your gobs.
I can see we have very different opinions on the cinema experience here, and I'm here for it. You know, society is built on diversity, but Stu, I have to say, I'm afraid you're wrong.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to the cinema with you, Stu.
Yeah,
you'll get irritated with me because I make comments.
Yeah, me and Amy. Me and Amy will go. We'll have a great time.
Yeah, we'll go see Oppenheimer, the next Nolan film that's coming up.
I mean, I'm the person who will sat at home, or watching a film with someone, and they ask a question in the middle of the film. I will passive aggressively pause the film, turn to them, and say, "Yes, now you can talk." I'm a pain in the arse. I really am.
That's why you've got subtitles on, so you can read while you're talking.
That's why I'm single.
I was going to say, Stu Jackson. What a catch! What a catch, ladies! He is currently on the market.
There are people that think like I do. So,
yes, that's very true.
Yeah,
that's very true.
It depends on the film as well. Like there are films where I'm just like, don't talk to me. I'm watching this and I want to absorb it completely. So yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Speaking of absorbing things completely, welcome back, listeners, to... That was weird, I'm sorry. No, I don't like it, but I've started, so I'll finish. Welcome back, listeners, to Tales from the 20 Side, a Pathfinder 2nd Edition Let's Play podcast. My name is Dom, and I'm your GM for this game and for many others, and I'm joined by Stu.
Hi.
I'm joined by Amy.
Oh, it's moist in here.
It is moist. I have a feeling it's about to get a bit more moist as well. What do you reckon?
Yeah. Oh, I started it. I can't complain.
And I'm also joined by Asta.
Help. Who's been very, I
assume, fearfully quiet throughout that entire exchange.
I have been absorbing information.
There we go.
Ooh, yes, nice callback. I mean, you could have gone with speaking of passive aggression.
Fuck you.
So that's not passive. That's aggression.
Well, let me debate you on whether or not.
Oh dear, what's going on, folks? How about words? What's going on?
I reckon I'm still playing Zelda when this comes out. So nice. Everybody else who's enjoying Zelda, it's good.
I may have started it by this point because I will have had payday, so which means I'll be able to play it.
By the time this comes out, Star Trek Resurgence will have dropped.
Ooh.
So I won't be playing Zelda when this comes out.
But then, as we established off air before the last record, Stu has never played a Zelda game anyway. So
never.
I dare say that will be no great loss to yourself, Stu.
No, I don't feel like... I mean, yeah. I mean, you're selling it well to me, and it sounds good, but then so did Ghost of Tsushima, or whatever it's called.
I don't think... I wouldn't have recommended that one. Because is that the Dark Soulsy one? Or is that the Japanese...
No, you're thinking
one?
of... you're thinking so that
Sekiro.
You're thinking of Sekiro.
Yeah.
Ghost of Tsushima is more a stealth thing.
Yeah.
Ghost of Tsushima. I'm going to come out in defence of it here. I fucking love that game. It's such a just like if there is anybody out there who is of the belief that video games cannot be art, I urge you to go and play Ghost of Tsushima, and you will change your mind. I hope. You might not, but
see, my if I was making that statement, I would say Gris, because that is just art. That is a beautiful game.
I've never played a single Assassin's Creed game.
Nah, you're not missing out on much. I'm not a big fan.
So yeah, I've got to ask you, what was your beef with Ghost of Tsushima?
Oh, I didn't have one. It like I say, it sounds amazing. Sounds like the gameplay is great, and the artwork, certainly the screenshots I've seen, looks absolutely beautiful. But I mean, who's got time to play all these things when there's Star Trek to watch and Star Trek
you
to
find
game,
games that you can play while you're watching Star Trek.
Oh, I can't
multitask. Oh,
I'm incapable of multitasking.
Yeah,
Amy, you're setting the bar too high.
I know, right? I just play boring grindy games, so it gives me free time to watch whatever while I'm playing.
Oh, I've noticed it's a thing with myself. Like, you know, I'll have a TV program on, and someone will like send me a text message or WhatsApp, and I'll pick up my phone and I'll respond to that, and I'll realise I have been completely unable to recall anything that's been on the TV whilst that was happening. I'm just totally incapable of it.
No, I would do that.
Focus in multiple directions.
Yeah, it is a skill, to be fair. It's not a skill that everybody has. I have it sometimes, thanks ADHD. Sometimes it's just not there at all. As you say, Stu.
That's interesting. I'm currently being assessed for ADHD.
Yeah, me too. Like I've had nothing. I've had no diagnosis yet. It's something I'm pursuing. But basically, I got to a point where I was seeing so many memes online, which are like, this is how a day in the life of an ADHD, a neurodivergent brain. I'm there thinking, I do that. I do that. I do that. I think like that. Oh shit! I would do that if that happened. Absolutely. And it just made me think. Let's get it. Let's find out for sure.
Yeah. Yep. Very similar with me. My niece got diagnosed with it, and my sister, when the diagnosis was happening, was like discovering all these traits, and she kept messaging me saying like, "This is another trait I've just discovered," and oh my fucking god, that is so us. Like, me and my sister, we are. We suspect, let's say formal diagnosis in process, but yeah, ADHD with a smidgen of autism as well.
So it's again, it's one of those things that's a lot more common than a lot of people realise.
Oh yeah.
It can be very, it can be very, very destructive in how it can affect your life and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. And of course, like when you get to 50, like me, you'll have kind of unconsciously learnt coping mechanisms or developed habits to compensate and things like that. It just, interesting stuff.
Very interesting indeed. Speaking of things that are interesting, I feel like we should begin getting back into our game, folks. Do you guys want to give me a little recap on where we find ourselves?
Yeah, we're going to need towels. It is misty up in here.
Yeah, I can't help but think that someone's missed out on the idea of just starting a sauna out here, because the humidity must be great.
It's as a person who has frequented a lot of sauna quite recently, I can tell you the mist is great, but it's far too cold for that. Far too cold.
Yeah, we're here to kill a moist man.
Yeah, so we are in the middle of our quest at the moment to defeat some elemental things. We had Zephimeri which we've met first. We've dispatched her and encountered Amos on our way back to Valve. And now we're off to Drippy Man, as the term has been coined. And we're going to dispatch him too.
So he has an actual name. I've given up saying it because you guys have decided that he is now called the Drippy Man.
Aureanos.
Aureanos, that's it.
Orville Redenbach.
I got you, Dom. I got you.
Thank you, Asta. I appreciate it. So, I mean,
Aureanos.
I mean, I'm just as an aside, I'm still going to be calling your necromancer Mayor Quimby. So,
well, fuck you too.
Offer of DM solidarity withdrawn.
At least partially.
Join us in misnaming these NPCs, Asta. Join us. One of us.
I get tormented too much with my NPC names. I can't do it.
Well, this one's now officially Aureanos. That's
Aureanos. Wow. Okay.
Oh, you're a wizard, Harry.
A drippy wizard.
Oh dear, a drippy Aureanos.
Oh, let's not go there.
Oh, it got worse.
So we're off to fight someone who likes water, and we've been told that there might be what we know as a Mist Stalker, but we don't really know what a Mist Stalker is. But it suddenly got very misty as we were walking, and we can't see Drippy Man. He's not where we left him.
Is a Mist Stalker kind of the same but different from a Mrs. Quiet?
Ha.
Mist Stalker.
Mist Talk. Sorry, Stu. That was tenuous at best.
She's a relative of Mrs. Chatterbox. Mrs. Chatterbox.
That's it. There we go. All right. So you guys have just entered the clearing containing the lake upon which you had previously seen Aureanos. I will say his name one last time. And to find the place is covered in mist, with no immediate sign of the Dawn Piper in front of you. However, you did just hear his voice, kind of echoing through the mist. Seemed to be perhaps a veiled threat of some kind. He talked about absorbing the waves back into the tide. But that's really where we bring ourselves back in. So, Agents of Chaos, with the scene set, what would you like to do?
Alwyn will call out into the area. Drippy Man, we're here with a message from your brother, Ravathiel.
Della disappears.
Roll a stealth check there.
Ooh, that's a good one. That is 32.
32, very nice. Yeah, Alwyn, as you call this out, in the second it takes you to shout this out, you look back next to you and you see that Della has vanished from sight.
I am the mist.
Maybe Della is the Mist Stalker. Did we consider this?
I've got my notes out there now.
Right. Is there any response?
There is Alwyn. So kind of as you hear, as you call this out, you see in the mist, and you can see on the area of the lake itself, this mist is intensely thick. You can just about make out as you now call this out. You can just about make out what is maybe a humanoid shadow somewhere in the centre of the lake. As you call this out, and sorry, what was it you said again?
It said, we're here with a message from Ravathiel, your brother.
And the response you get is, the little wave returns to bother the tide anew. What say you, little wave? What current do you bring?
He says, riddle me this. It's funny you should say current. Now, Raiden, with the lightning thingy. Go on.
We can discuss this.
In your own time.
I will attempt a lightning bolt in the direction of the shadowy figure.
Alright, let's roll initiative, folks.
Can I use stealth as this is a bit of a surprise attack?
Yeah, you absolutely can, Della. In fact, I'm willing to let you use the stealth roll you just made, if you would like that.
I mean, yes, I don't want to go first. That's fine.
Oh, you can always hold your...
I'll hold that. Yeah, I've got some ideas, so it's fine.
I can delay your initiative, that's very true.
Mm-hmm.
17.
17 for Alwyn. What did Raiden
21.
Get? 21 for Raiden.
I mean, that went according to plan, didn't it?
I don't think we planned.
What we were talking on the way here about what we could do.
Yeah.
I don't think we agreed what we were doing.
No.
Alright, so that's it. I feel like one member of the party had a plan here. They didn't stop to check if everybody else knew what it was. Amazing.
Every member of the party had a plan. It just happened to be different plans for each member, perhaps.
All right. As you shout this out, Alwyn, and there's this awkward moment as you look at Raiden, and she's like, "What, me? Oh, me!" And you see her hands starting to lift up, and lightning beginning to dance across her fingers. Even with your super high roll there, Della, you are not actually acting first.
Oh.
You simply hear a chuckle. My brother can say what he wishes. I know why you're here, mortal. Come and claim it, if you dare. And that shadow that vaguely humanoid shadow that you could see in the center of the lake. You're not sure if it's a trick of the light or your eyes or something, but that shadow, that barest vestige of Aureanos that you could see before, disappears into the mist. And that's it for his turn for now. We're round to Della.
All right. Can Della do some like blindfolded Buffy shit to see if she can hear this guy?
Yeah, make a perception check.
That is 25.
25, okay. So what I will say is you get no idea of where he is now, but as you're hearing this kind of taunt come from within the mist, you're listening intently, Della, and you hear the sound of almost the sound that you would imagine from water being poured into a container. With that roll, Della, you estimate he's probably dived beneath the water surface.
Okay. For my second action, from the mists, I'm going to rally the guys. We've got this. We're going to defeat Drippy Man and use some encouraging words to give everyone some temporary hit points.
All right, let's have that roll. Diplomacy.
That is 24.
24. That's almost certainly going to be a success. Again, it's been a very long time since I wrote this feat for you.
Let me grab it. There with. I never have it to hand when I need it.
What does it do? I'm happy you're using it though.
Yeah. It's good.
So am I if it gives us temporary hit points, because I've got a feeling we're gonna need them.
That's what I heard.
Because I just realised Alwyn's plan to defeat the water is a club. It's just...
Yeah.
Okay, so your roll was 25, you said?
24.
24, okay. So actually, and Della is an expert in diplomacy?
She is.
She is, okay. So in that case, that gives everybody, if you could roll a d8 for me, Amy, and add 5 to it.
Okie dokie. That is a d8. 8.
8, is that 8 total?
Yeah.
Okay, so everybody gets 8 temporary hit points.
Does that count for me as well? Can I encourage myself?
I'm going to say yeah. I'm going to say yeah, why not?
Okay, that's cool.
It's probably, I mean, I'm sure somebody somewhere could tell me why that is super unbalanced, but I don't really care.
I feel like Della would big herself up. That sounds like something she would do.
Yeah, always big yourself up, listeners. Always big yourself up. Be kind to yourselves. Yeah, all right. So
that's that.
Your second action, you do that.
For my third action, I'd like to move sort of closer to where I think he is, but sort of keeping some distance between. Sort of like, so if like Alwyn is in between some gap and the pond, and where I think Thingy is, like on the side, but in between.
So before you start doing that, would you like me to lay out the scene for you once more?
Yes, please.
Okay, so you are stood in a clearing that you remember to be sort of 65 feet across. Obviously, you're hemmed on all sides again by this thick forest. Mm-hmm. The clearing itself is dominated mostly by this lake that you have previously seen, and the lake is a good sort of 50 feet across.
Oh, okay. So it's like more of a ring of clearing.
Yes.
Around a pond. Okay, cool. Well, I'll just move slightly to the left, like round a little bit, but not too far. So maybe only about 20 foot.
Sure thing. I will hop you around about 20 feet. 10. As you do so, Della, you're kind of skirting around to the left, and you can see as you're moving around, the fog is particularly dense, kind of centered on the lake itself. And just as you're running off to the left-hand side, your foot. You find you kind of step into like the shallows of the lake, as it were. And as you do so, Della, you expect your foot to splash into the water, and you are surprised when you find the surface of the water to be. It seems to be holding your weight as you step on it.
Okay.
It's almost like glass as you step on it.
Can I not keep my feet on the water? I'd rather not be on the water.
You don't have to. I'm just giving you a bit of information that you may have need of in a second.
Yeah.
You do realise that the water, you expect yourself to kind of splash through it, but actually it seems to be a little bit more solid than you're expecting.
Okay. Because there's a person in there. I'm done.
Alright, it is Ryden's turn.
Do I expend the spell I began casting, or...
No, so the way it works is, when you started doing something aggressive, that's when we rolled initiative. Like, this is Pathfinder, not Snap.
That's fair. In that case, I will go for the plan that Ryden recalls being mentioned, and putting some distance between myself and my allies so I don't potentially harm them. I'd like to try and cast the Gale Blast cantrip to try and clear some of the mist out of my way.
Okay, sure thing. So as you... which direction do you want to go?
I'll sort of move 10 10 feet to the left away from my allies and sort of try and clear in like a forward direction towards the centre of the lake.
Yep, sure, okay. You start moving around to the left, breaking away from Alwyn as you do so. You also kind of come towards the shoreline as it were, and you find the same thing, Ryden. As your foot connects with the water, you expect it to go through, but it doesn't.
I will make note of that. And the cantrip affects like a 5-foot zone.
Okay, and what spell is it? What spell is it you're casting? Gale Blast. Talk to me about Gale Blast.
So normally it's a fortitude save against creatures, but I'm wondering if Creator could try and clear some of the mist in the same 5-foot zone to see if my magic can sort of permeate the magic caused by the Dawn Piper.
Sure. Okay. So yeah, I would say kind of as you cast this spell, Ryden, you definitely do notice the mist kind of in your immediate vicinity disperses at least a little bit. What I would say is that you're not in the area where the mist is thickest. However, you do notice that the air around you clears a little bit.
Does it seem to stay clear or slowly start to recoalesce?
Let me have a look at the spell. The spell doesn't have any kind of duration on it. What you notice, Ryden, is kind of as you release this blast of wind, the area immediately around you clears, sort of quite quickly, as you would expect. As that effect ends, you do notice that mist begin to creep back in to fill the space. However, it does seem to take. It's certainly not instant.
I will make sure I'm not stood on the glass-like water, and that's me now.
Yeah, absolutely. That's Ryden done. Brings us round to Alwyn.
Right. So, I mean, from Alwyn's point of view, he's just sort of smacked this thing, and his comrades have just kind of stepped away from him. Okay.
It was the plan.
Was that a plan?
I gave you a pep talk. Come on.
You did. And I'm appreciative of it. Alwyn is going to... So where Aureanos has gone into the water, is there any sign of where Aureanos kind of is still? Or
so as previously mentioned, you couldn't see him before. You could see a vaguely humanoid shadow somewhere in the centre of the mist, toward the centre of the lake. That kind of shadow in the mist has now vanished from sight. Would Della have shared what she heard before she ran around the corner?
Probably not. She was being stealthy.
Yeah, sure. In that case, Alwyn, you can make a perception check of your own.
Yes, I will try and see if I can determine where. Oh, natural 20, so it's up to 31.
Very nice. So yeah, Alwyn, you kind of heard the same thing as Della did. You heard what sounded like water splashing into other water just after Aureanos finished this taunt towards all of you. You're fairly certain that he has dropped beneath the surface of the water.
Right, I'd like to run to the place where he dropped, or I think he dropped.
Yeah, sure thing. So you start striding towards the lake, you stomp towards the water. Again, bracing yourself to kind of be immersed in at least the ankles of this freezing cold water, and you much like your companions, you find as you get to the edge of the lake, you find the lake surface is seems to support your weight.
Alwyn can walk on water, but he's not the Messiah. And with a cry of...
What's your movement speed, Alwyn?
25. Yes, 25.
25, okay.
So can I get to that position in one move?
Yes, you can. You get to base. You run onto this lake out, and you find yourself being buoyed by the water surface. You get to this location where you think you saw a shadow, and there is no sign of Aureanos. It's also worth noting, Alwyn, you are now completely surrounded by this mist.
Okay. With a cry of, to paraphrase what you just said, come and have a go if you think you're hard enough. And I'm going to beat with the club on the water beneath me.
Okay, roll an attack.
That is a total of 30.
Total of 30. You strike the surface of the water. There is a splash, and you feel cold water spray across your face as you do so. If you struck the creature, there is no sign that you've done so.
With my final action, I will raise my shield.
You raise your shield, all right. End of your turn. We are round 2. Aureanos.
Uh-oh.
Who is going to... A couple of things are going to happen. How many actions is that? Okay, Alwyn. As you rush onto the surface of the lake and you strike at the surface of the water, there is no immediate sense that you've struck anything. However, you do feel the water somewhere behind you begin to ripple and bubble and displace and only you can see this, Alwyn, because you're in such close proximity. But you see the figure of Aureanos rises out of the water and stands before you, and he says, so nice of you to indulge my simple pleasures. As he rises from the water, Alwyn, his hand shoots out towards you, lightning fast, touches you, his gaunt fingers make contact with your chest, and you feel your lungs filling with fluid of some kind. I would like you to make a fortitude saving throw, please, Alwyn.
Okay, I will just ask, did his rising out the water provoke an attack of opportunity?
It did not. Entering your threatened square does not provoke.
Okay. Total of 31 for my fortitude save.
31, okay. So as Aureanos places his fingers on your chest, your body convulses as you begin to feel your body filling up with water. Perhaps expecting this from what Ravathiel has previously told you. You basically, almost reflexively, punch yourself in the gut and force yourself to cough up all of this water before it creates any effect against you. And I can tell you, Alwyn, that was a success, and you are unaffected by drowning touch.
Good.
And you see, as you do so, Aureanos says once more, a pity. We'll have to do this in a much less civilized manner, I see. And that's going to end his turn, though. We're round to Della.
So I can't see this happening.
You can't. What you can see, Della, is you can see that there, much as you saw a moment ago, where there were this kind of vaguely humanoid shadow on the surface of the lake. You can now see 2 vaguely humanoid shadows on the surface of the lake. No idea really who's who. You assume that one of them is probably Alwyn, based on what's just been shouted.
Della is going to... Oh, she doesn't want to run up. But she's going to run up because she's got to... So she's going to approach... Della's movement is 30. Mm-hmm. How close... Can I get in there for one?
Yes, you absolutely can. So, of these two humanoid figures, you can see Alwyn. Della. There is one kind of more to the left and one more to the right. Would you like to go to the left, to the right, or somewhere in the middle?
I would like to go in the middle.
The middle.
I don't know.
5. Okay, so Alwyn, a second. As this happens and this individual touches you on the chest, you see the mist next to you parts, and you see Della appearing out of the mist. Della, you sort of fumbling your way through the fog, you eventually come to where these two shadows are. You see Alwyn on the left-hand side, basically coughing up a load of water from his mouth, and next to him you see with hand still outstretched and a look of disappointment on his face. You see the creature you had met previously, who you know to be Aureanos.
Okay. I was. Am I like right up next to him?
Yes, you are. Yeah. You are next to both of them. What I will say is, although you're close enough, there is still quite heavy mist in this area. Any attacks will have concealment.
Okay. Do I still have that skyrocket in my bag, or did they take that away from me?
I don't think you used it.
No, because I think someone else set one off. I don't think it was ours.
Amos set one off to start your little rebellion thing.
Yeah. Okay.
You were given a couple, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. All right, that's good. I'm too. Can I? Is there like a mechanic in? To withdraw her cold iron dagger and stab it.
Yeah, sure thing. You draw the cold iron dagger you have, and you make an attack.
I make an attack. 25.
Oh, 25. So I close the stat box. I'm really, really smart. 25 is actually. Before that, roll a d20 for me, Amy.
D20. 13.
13. Okay, so 25. I can tell you is a miss, Della. Okay. You dive in with the strike, sort of taking a second for your eyes to get accustomed to the mist, and you're certain he's standing exactly where you think he is, and you thrust in with the dagger, but that whole assessment took you just a second longer than you would have liked, and he twists away at the last moment.
Mm-hmm. Good. That's me.
That's Della done. We're round to Ryden. You can see Ryden. You've seen Alwyn kind of rush off onto the surface of the lake. You're not really sure what's going on in this bank of fog, but you can see that there are now 3 vaguely humanoid shadows on the surface of the water, one of which is smaller than the other 2.
If I can, I'll start making my way towards the smaller, as I would identify that as Della, and sort of use her as almost like a directional, head towards an ally and then find the bad guy.
Yeah, all right. So your first action, you step onto the water's surface, and yeah, within within about 10 feet of movement in this fog, you come across Della. You see she has her cold iron dagger in her hand and appears to just be pulling back from a strike. However, this fog is so dense that you can't see what she was attacking.
If I can... How much of my movement would that have used? I have 30 in total.
So the way movement works in Pathfinder is that you move when you spend the action to move, you move up to your speed, and any extra speed is lost. So if you wanted to move again, that would be a second action.
Is it just one action to get there?
It was just one action to get there, yes.
Yeah, I will use a second action to move again to try and get in a position where I can see more or less who's who.
Okay. So based on that, you'll get the sense, Ryden, that this fog is so thick that you can't really see what's. You can't see anything further than 5 feet away from you. But certainly, based on where Della is, based on where those other two shadows were, you kind of run round Della's left, coming across Alwyn, and you do actually eventually kind of get yourself into a position where you can now see all three of your allies. Sorry, you can see Alwyn and Della, and you can see this Fey being on the surface of the water, again with his hands still outstretched, touching Alwyn's chest.
I will use my last action to make an attack with my claws.
Alright, roll an attack.
That is a 26.
26. Roll a d20 for me.
19.
19, yeah. As you run round Alwyn, you bring your claw to bear and you strike, lashing across this Fey being. 26 is just enough to hit, Asta. Roll some damage.
Two on the die. I cannot remember what I add to it, if anything. It's been a while.
So it's your claws are finesse, right? So add your choice of strength or dex.
That would be 5 in total then.
Plus your train proficiency. So level plus 2.
My mind has gone blank.
So 5 plus your level,
which is 6.
So that's 11, plus 2 for 13
in total, thank you.
13 total, you're welcome. Oh wait, sorry, was that for
damage.
Attack or damage? Damage, sorry, I thought we were doing another attack. I was like, no, that's 4 actions. Sorry, damage is the damage dice plus your strength.
Or dex if it's finesse.
No, it's strength to damage unless you are a thief.
Just
rogue.
2 on the die then.
2 on the die. There we go. We got there. Sorry, that's my fault. I confused you all there.
It's been a while since I've rolled it.
That's it. All right. That sounds like the end of Ryden's turn, which is going to bring us round to Alwyn.
Right, having seen that Ryden's claws have actually done some damage, first thing Alwyn's going to do, am I currently in a flanking position with anyone?
You are not. If you imagine, you guys are in kind of an L shape. Ryden and Della, yeah. Alwyn is kind of the corner of the L, if that makes sense.
Makes perfect sense. I'd like to move so that I am in a flanking position with Della.
Yes, you can absolutely do that. You run around the outside of Ryden.
I'll drop the Great Club for a free action.
Yep. The Great Club lands with a splash and disappears beneath the water surface.
Okay. And I will draw the Striking Rapier with my second action.
All right.
And I will stab at him for my third.
All right.
No, total of 19.
Total of 19 is a miss. Again, in the time it takes you to run round, and because this fog is so thick, there is a moment where you have to lose sight of Aureanos, and you're kind of using Raiden as a guide to get yourself around. And as you do so, and he comes into view once more, you fumble for the rapier. You make your attack. Again, he glides out of the way before you can land that strike.
Kadoke.
I think that's Alwyn done. We're round to Aureanos. Aureanos, seeing that you're all kind of surrounding him now, doesn't seem too bothered by that. However, he does look at Della, and particularly at the dagger that Della is holding, with a particularly strong look of distaste. And he says, I can see you're going to be a problem. And his hand drifts out towards you, Della, and he touches you on the chest. I would like a fortitude saving throw, please.
20.
20, okay. A 20, Della, I can tell you, is a failure. As his fingers touch you, Della, you feel the strangest sensation. You feel your mouth and your lungs filling up with water, entirely of their own volition, and you cough and you splutter, and this makes you start to feel very, very unwell. You are sickened 3, Della.
Ooh. Remind me what sickened does again.
So sickened is a penalty to all checks and DCs equal to your sickened value. So basically, it's -3 to everything.
Okay.
You can, in terms of clearing that effect, you can spend an action on your turn to retch, which basically lets you attempt that save again. If you're successful, you reduce your sickened value by 1.
Okay.
And yeah, so as Aureanos touches Della, he says he still looks disappointed. A better result, but still not the one I wanted. Mist Stalker, get in here. And I know what you're going to ask, Owen. The answer is no. It does not provoke an attack opportunity.
That wasn't what I was going to ask.
Okay.
I was going to ask you, and I'm guessing the answer is no anyway, but does it count as damage?
I didn't roll any damage, so it's not damage.
For the purposes of liberating step, that was my...
That's all right. So yeah,
I suspected not, but... Yeah.
You watch as he touches you on the chest, Della, and your mouth fills with this water. You watch as he begins to sink once again beneath the surface of the lake, which will provoke an attack opportunity, Owen.
I'll take that. That's better. 27.
27. Roll a d20, Stu.
9.
Yep. So as he dives once more beneath the surface of the water, you flash out with the rapier and you find that it connects with something. Roll damage.
4 points of damage.
4 points. Okay. So 4 points of damage. Very nice.
A 2 and a 1 on 2d6.
That's unfortunate. But
that really is.
Dice be dice.
I mean, it's magic, if that makes any odds.
It doesn't seem to have any particular effect. But a hit nonetheless. Yeah, you watch as... Aureanos once again disappears beneath the surface of the water. And much as you've been warned by Ravathiel, as soon as his body passes below the waterline, he basically vanishes from sight. You lose track of him entirely as he disappears underwater. Okay, so as he calls this phrase out, Mist Stalker, get in here. All three of you hear perhaps a hissing sound of something moving in the mist in the mist around you. You glance around. Your eyes catch the briefest flash of a shadow darting through the mists, and then after a moment, Raiden, you see an indeterminate, almost tentacled shape appearing kind of off behind you. And you see the mist around Alwyn in particular. No, actually, no, he doesn't like that cold iron dagger. The mist around Della grows much more dense for a second. Della, I would like you to make a reflex saving throw, please, with a -3 penalty.
So -3, 26.
26. Okay, so Della, you feel the mist around you beginning to thicken. It's like it's sticking to your body. You're finding it. You're having to work hard to move, and then you realise that perhaps this creature is trying to trap you in place. And as you realise this, you lunge backwards out of this little pocket of mist, and you find yourself freed from that effect. You are not restrained by the mist. However, as this happens, Raiden, this tentacled shadow that's appeared behind you, it lashes towards you as it makes a tentacle attack against you. With a 23 to hit.
Just hits, yeah.
Just hits, okay. D8s.
8.
That is a total of 12 points of bludgeoning damage, Raiden. As this mist almost seems to solidify into a tentacle and strikes you.
Can I use Blood Vendetta as my reaction to that?
I probably can. Talk to me about Blood Vendetta.
One moment. My character sheet is having a fit.
I believe Blood Vendetta is when you're struck by a piercing or slashing weapon or permanent bleed damage.
That's it. So yeah,
yes.
A creature deals piercing, slashing, or persistent bleed damage. So unfortunately, Blood Vendetta will not trigger as it's bludgeoning damage.
Sorry.
That's all right.
I said permanent bleed damage, didn't I?
Yeah.
Really
Permanent bleed damage. It sounds pretty fatal to me. There we go. All right. End of his turn. We're round to Della.
All right. Does the second condition do anything if I don't do anything? Does it reduce periodically?
Unfortunately, not. It's not like Frightened. Obviously, Frightened reduces by itself. Sickened, you have to actively try to clear that, or somebody else has to find a way to help you.
Cool. And because this Mist Stalker made an attack against Raiden, do I know where they are?
Yes, you can see there is this sort of vaguely tentacled shadow standing behind Raiden. If you imagine Raiden is the centre, you are in her bottom right corner. This tentacled creature is in her top left corner. So,
okay, opposite. Yeah.
So if you really wanted to, you could flank with the Mist Stalker and get sneak attack on Raiden.
But I could flip it and get a flanking position potentially.
Yes,
within 30 feet.
Yes,
okay.
You certainly believe you can.
Cool. So first action, Della's going to make herself retch to try and clear some of the status effect.
All right, let's have a fortitude save.
I rolled a 2, so no.
What's the total?
12.
It's a 12. That is unfortunate.
Does it get worse?
I don't think it does, because that would suck.
Please don't say it. I didn't know it would get worse. Fortitude is not my forte.
It's not your fortitude.
No.
Oh no! There is no critical failure.
Okay.
You just don't get any better.
That's fine. And then for my second action, I'll move to flanking with the Mist Stalker and Raiden.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then I'm going to stab it with my dagger.
Stab it with your dagger. Roll the attack.
3. It's not bad actually. So that is 18 minus 3 is 15 plus 13 is 28.
I tell you what, Della. Even despite how ill you're currently feeling, even despite you can't really see the creature, roll a d20 for me.
Roll a d20. Oh, please don't miss. 17.
17. That is a critical hit, Della.
Oh yeah. Smash it in the face with my. So it's a dagger, so I don't get a deadly d8. So that is d4 plus 2. Sneak. 3 plus 2, 5, 6, 11 times 2.
11 times 2 for 22 damage. Nice.
That's for trying to trap me, you Mist Stalker, you.
Excellent. All right. You rush round. You deliver a strike with your dagger, Della. That ends your turn, I believe.
Yep, it does.
We're round to Raiden.
The creature's still between myself and Della.
It is,
I
yes.
will reach out and shroud my hands in crackling lightning and cast Shocking Grasp on it.
Okay. Is
yes,
that an attack roll? Okay, make an attack roll for me.
Is it advantage because of flanking? Yeah.
There's no advantage in Pathfinder. However, you do get it gets a penalty to its AC.
I rolled a
It's a
natural
minus 2
20.
penalty.
Yay!
Excellent.
Or 32.
32, yeah. Roll a d20 for me.
17.
Critical hit, Raiden.
Yes.
Excellent.
Crit card.
Oh boy.
Crit card.
Oh, you might make him disappear again. Ooh.
Yay!
Oh, that would be
Or throw a
amazing.
house at it. Yeah.
We've not said those words in a while. Crit card.
No.
All right, let's see what I've got. So I'm continuing the theme of I'm drawing 2. Going to tell you the names of them, and then you choose which one you would like. What type of damage is?
It is electricity.
With shocking. Oh, it's a spell. That's right. Okay.
Spell crits are fun.
Spell crits are fun. Sorry, for some reason I had it in my head that you'd done your claws again.
It's because it's an attack roll, I think, rather than a save.
That's it.
Because the electricity came from the wall.
Technically.
Yeah.
Maybe so. Okay, so Raiden, your choice on these crit cards. Your choice is Psychic Overflow or Doomed.
I mean, with how you said it, it's got to be doomed, right?
Yeah. Is it all in capitals with an exclamation mark?
It literally has an exclamation mark.
Yeah. I got it.
Doomed, very nice. The target is slowed 1 for 1 round, and is also doomed 1. The doomed condition won't really matter too much to it. Basically, doomed reduces the number at which you die. So if this creature were a player character, it would now die at dying 3 rather than dying 4. However, I don't tend to do death throws for monsters like this. So That's not particularly relevant. However, slowed 1 is nice. It means it loses 1 action on its next turn.
And I rolled 19 damage on the dice.
19 damage, damn. So we double that.
38.
38.
Getting mullered.
I tell you what, you were joking about Raiden making this thing disappear. Yeah, Raiden, how do you utterly destroy this elemental creature?
I wreathe my hands in the lightning energy, crackling purple, and as it's momentarily distracted by Della, I will bring my taloned hand up and just sort of shove the crackling talons through its chest.
Yeah, you do, and this creature of really indeterminate mass and makeup. Yeah, you basically force your crackling hand just directly through it. There is a screech and a howl in the mist for just a moment, and then you watch as this shadow before you disperses, and the mist around all of you begins to thin slightly.
I shake mist go off my talons.
It's kind of like that scene in Ghostbusters.
100%.
Yeah, there's like goo everywhere. There we go. All right.
Stu's gone.
Think. Fantastic.
I like to think that as the Mist Stalker just sort of like dissipates. Say the word, someone.
Dissipates.
That's it. We high five over.
Yeah.
Because your hands are already out, right? So
If you want to.
did it.
Tips and fingers, because there's still a little bit of electricity.
Woo!
Very nice. All right.
Yes,
is that Raiden's turn?
is.
I think it is. That's Raiden's turn done. All right.
All you did.
All you did. You only deleted half the encounter. That's okay. It's okay. No, don't.
2 critical hits.
Seriously, don't apologise. That is just the dice being dice. It's absolutely fine. Okay, yeah. End of Raiden's turn. It's Alwyn.
We sorted it.
So you currently cannot see Aureanos. What I would say, if you would like to, unless there's anything you want to do on this turn, Alwyn, you could delay your initiative.
I'm actually going to ready and sorry, I'm still shaking Misty off talons. It's still. I mean, my brain is in the toilet at the best of times.
Right. I tell you what, I'm really sad that Darren wasn't there to experience that, because I think we would all now be dying of laughter.
I know, right? First action, I'm going to raise my shield.
Yep. First action, raise your shield.
Second action, I'm going to ready an action to strike Aureanos if he appears next to me.
Appears next to you. Okay. All right. That's going to end your turn then, Alwyn. I know we're over time. I'm just going to finish this a little bit off, and then we'll break. As the mist begins to dissipate, Alwyn, you're kind of looking around, readying yourself, waiting for this being to make himself known. You see the water behind Raiden on the far side of you begin to churn and bubble, and again, noiselessly, the form of Aureanos rises out of the water with a look of intense displeasure on his face. And as he rises out of the water, he looks at the three of you. Well, now I really have to do this in a more destructive fashion. But first, Come and join me, my dear. As his hand reaches out once more towards, this time towards Raiden. Like a fortitude saving throw from Raiden, please.
Oh, that's nat 1. I will hero point.
Okay.
That is a 26.
26 is a success, Raiden. You see his fingers reach out towards you, and he touches you on your chest. And just like Alwyn and Della, you start to feel your mouth and your throat filling up with liquid. Similar to what Alwyn did, you kind of put both hands to your stomach and perform like a mini Heimlich maneuver on yourself, forcing that liquid out of your lungs before it can do any actual damage. You succeed on that saving throw, Raiden. Very well done. And as you do so as he touches you and sees that this has no effect on you, Raiden, Aureanos looks at the three of you once more, and he says, "Very well. Allow me to show you the destructive nature of water." And you watch as his form swells, his arms switch from these slender elven-like arms to raging torrents of water that almost seem to form into fists. And that is where we will leave it for tonight.
He's gone Super Saiyan.
He's enraged now.
Tales from the 20 Side is a Feagle Films production in association with Juicy Falls. Music by Alexander Nakarada and editing by Stu Jackson. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and Discord by searching Tales from the 20 Side or by visiting talesfromthe20side.com.
Yeah. Cannonball!
I mean, if we manage to beat him and it's with bludgeoning damage, I do think that someone should cannonball into his pond to do it.
Excellent.
If he hulks out but it's soggy, is that a sulk?
You're not even getting dignified with a response.
No, clearly not. Clearly not.
It was terrible.
I told you most of my puns don't get approved.
Yeah, that's why we chuck them at the end.
That's it. Yeah, I couldn't think of like a cool actual line for him to do that with there. So that's a bit of a flat ending, but fuck it. It's fine.
They call me Super Soaker.
Very nice. Very, very nice.
I can't hear Super Soaker without picturing the Cards Against Humanity card that is a Super Soaker filled with cat pee.
Grim.
Why do that when you can just have a catapult?
Oh my god.
Because it's cruel on the cats. I mean...
They got 9 lives.
And the vegetarian of the group, ladies and gentlemen.
We're playing a fantasy game.
We are indeed.